Shalom, welcome to 6 by 6, 6 minutes a day, 6 days, and you got a full idea from Lubavitcher Rebbe. And we talked about the lesson we had from Moses. He was being argued, you're wrong, how chutzpah on you, you married a non-Jewish woman, you're telling me now I can't marry them, and he kept quiet. And we said sometimes you have to just keep quiet and just do the action, just learn and do the mitzvah and don't argue. Well, this is also very close to Yud Beis Tammuz, which means the 12th day of the Hebrew month of Tammuz. And in 1927, the previous Rebbe was released from a terrible, almost really a death penalty, and then in incarceration for 3 years, or exile, you could call that, in the boonies, hinterlands in Russia. But he was freed finally at that time. Now, the previous Rebbe was very tough. You have to be courageous and tough. I mean, again, frame the situation. These communists weren't Boy Scouts. That they did kill people. They sent people to terrible gulags, terrible punishments, terrible tortures. And really, many rabbis just say, I'm getting out of here. I'll just go to Poland. I'll go to America. Or go to Israel where I can teach and no one's going to bother me. But here, the previous Rebbe says, no, I didn't do nothing wrong. It says in the Russian Constitution, there is a freedom of religion, and I'm going to keep on teaching. Well, the communists didn't appreciate it, to say the very least, and therefore they, like I just said, arrested him and tortured him for a few weeks, and finally they let him go with a lot of political pressure on. So on one hand, you have to stand up for what is right. On the very much other hand, that the previous Rebbe did things in a chesed v'rachmin, which you call it in Hebrew, kindness and mercy. So you have to have both things together. You got to be tough when at times called to be tough. Stand up for your principle. Don't be nebbish. Okay, whatever you want. No, if you have something right, then do it and teach it. On the other hand, that you have to be kind, and the previous Rebbe once said, when you talk to someone, you don't rip their nose off. You have to yell at them, you're a schmo, you're no good, what are you doing? You have to do things in a very kind way. We see that the Chabad movement obviously follows what the Rebbe teaches, and therefore also many Jewish people are not doing the proper things in Torah and the mitzvahs, but you don't go screaming at people. You do things, you tell them in a nice way, a proper way. You tell them, invite them for a Simchas Torah, a party, a Purim party here. You'll have a good time. We'll say l'chaim, and therefore you'll bring them closer. And surely throughout the years we don't have to theorize, because we see in actuality the Chabad movement has brought thousands to Judaism and influenced millions. And probably we can almost say every single Jewish person in the world has been influenced by Chabad, which means from this idea of being kind by the Rebbe. So that's why an important lesson. We have to be humble on one hand, but we have to stand up and be strong on the other hand. And on the third hand, we have 3 hands now, that in any case you have to do things with chesed, with kindness and mercy, to tell people, yell at them you're doing something wrong, but accentuate the positive to eliminate the negative. And that's an important point, and I think it's the motto of the Chabad movement. And that's what we should emulate that in our lives and teach everybody in a nice and pleasant way.